I'm joined by Avery Mills after the Liberty exhibition game against North Carolina A&T. And Avery, these exhibition games, scrimmages basically, they just now are a little more glorified because you got a crowd and you can have a little bit of distraction as far as the visiting team has to deal with the fans screaming and yelling, and of course they had some fans here too, so you guys had to deal with a little bit of that as well. But for the most part, these are just learning experiences, not so much something that you're going to look at the final score, but it was an overtime game. 60-60 goes to overtime, and they get the win. The final score 76-65, so they kind of got you in overtime. Knowing this doesn't mean anything, but you're still a player, and players want to win, and coaches want to win. It probably stung a little bit.
It did, yeah. Stung for sure, but like you said, I mean, just the exhibition. Honestly, I mean, Coach was just saying, in the locker room, sometimes a win can kind of camouflage certain things that you need to work on. So it was good. It was good. I think we definitely needed this just to see things we need to work on. And we'll be back at practice tomorrow, getting better, ready for Frostburg. So
you had 20 points in the game. I know even if you were sitting down looking at the stats, you kind of said, wow, man, a few more threes should have went in. But not a bad beginning of the year with 20 points. So much graduated or left the team after last year as far as percentage of the offense. Some of it's sitting on the bench as a coach right now with Emma Hess. So do you feel any extra pressure on yourself to score more this season?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say it's pressure. It's definitely, I definitely know what the deal is though. Like going into this season, losing some, awesome players, just graduating and transferring, I knew, it was my time. It was my time to come. Looking at my threes, I did not know it was 5 for 14. Definitely gotta get better at that. But no pressure. Just love to be out here playing with my girls. So
Bella Smuda is overseas making a name for herself professionally, and Emmy Stout looks like she was studying some of Bella's game film, some of those moves in the paint. But you've seen Emmy for years now. Yeah.
Emmy's a dog. I mean, she still had she still played great. I know some of them weren't going her way.
15 points. Yeah.
That's with, certain calls I think could go either way, but she's so tough, and I think she knew as well going into the season her role. So we both, we're ready, and I know she's going to come back. We're all going to come back so much more ready. So
when you do look over at the bench and you see Emma there, do you ever kind of go, because you're kind of, I don't want to say, you're you.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to fill some of that void of Emma graduating. So, do you ever kind of come over and go, all right, give me the lowdown?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in practice. When we play in practice or we scrimmage or just going against our practice players, whatever, I'm always looking to her for a lot of different just tips. And also we have individual shooting workouts throughout the week, and I have mine with her. So, I love getting work in from her, learning from her, all her experience. So, yeah.
And the one thing we don't want to lose in this is North Carolina A&T is a solid team. They're a very good team. Yeah. So there's no shame in losing to them, overtime or whatever. But at the same time, I know there's things that you guys want to work on. Yeah. The rebounding was a pretty big deficit. I'm sure that was something that you guys talked about in the locker room. Yeah,
I mean, before the game, Coach told us it was going to come down to rebounding. He knew it. I think we knew it. Of course, it just came down to executing that. But, just the rebounds. We'll definitely be doing some drills tomorrow for sure. I'm sure some pads or some big guys pushing on us. But, like you said, they're a great team. They're solid. But, we'll be ready.
They're a team that pressures, and so that's not a bad thing to see before it counts. This loss doesn't mean anything. Is that something that, as a guard and your fellow guards, is something that you guys kind of have in your mind that is a key emphasis for this season? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we have certain goals before every game. One of them is just limiting our turnovers. So, in practice we keep track of that as well. So we keep track in games and in practice. We treat practice honestly like a real game. So we come out, flip the switch, we're ready. So turnovers, just handling the ball, handling pressure, because we're playing some solid teams coming up. They're going to be pressuring just like that. So we definitely need to hone in on that, focus on that. But we'll be good.
Well, we jumped straight into this game, straight into basketball. I didn't get a chance to say how was the off season, how was the summer, how was everything leading in?
Yeah, it was great. I think right after the season ended, or maybe maybe a couple weeks later, my family and I, we went on a little cruise. Yeah. But we were right back here June working. So it was a great off season though. I was itching the whole off season though to get out here. I've been ready. So
the fans probably don't really kind of have a grasp of how summers go. They think, oh, basketball season's over. Yeah. You put the shoes up, put them back on in October, and that's not the case anymore.
No, yeah, we're back beginning of June, and we're here until. We've been here, so we're just obviously, summer workouts are not as long, not as crazy as preseason and everything, but yeah, we're here, we're working. It's a year-round thing. So, but again, we love it. We signed up for it, and we love just how the culture has been built since then. Like when we first got here in the summer, we didn't really know each other. Looking to today, we're family, and it's awesome. So
that's the last thing. We'll close on that because there are so many new faces, so many international players as well. Yeah. And the thing about international players is they're coming here and they need a family because they're so far away from their own. So has that camaraderie really built up? Yeah, for sure. We're all, what Coach Sherard, what he's been saying to us, we kind of have these quotes every day, but one he's been saying every day is, what we're trying to accomplish, we can't do it as a team, we have to do it as a family. So we've really been honing in on that, on our culture, just loving one another, praying for one another, and our culture is great. It's the best I've ever had on a team. We're all sisters, so yeah, I love it. I said that was the last question, but you made me think of one more. Yeah. Coach Sherard, Coach Green. It was, for me, having been around Coach Green for as long as I have, it was strange to see him in the stands today. Was he in the stands? And I didn't look up. He was behind you guys, and so just how has that transition gone? Pretty smooth, I guess, because it's not like Alexis wasn't Coach Green's right-hand man for 18 years. Right, yeah. Man, I didn't know Coach Green was here. He was definitely... I'm sure he was sweating seeing us not rebounding. But like you said, the transition, it's been so smooth. We've been, Coach Sherard's been there every day. All last year he was, right there with Coach Green by his side helping. And he's a player's coach as well. So he loves just seeing us play, going out having fun. So yeah, it's been great. We love him. Definitely miss CG a lot, but it's been a great transition. Well, sorry you didn't get the win today, but a nice outing for yourself, 20 points, and some things certainly to work on in practice that I'm sure, you've got, about a week and a day to get ready for the real deal, so little work left to be done. Yep, we'll be ready. We're excited. Thank you. This is Avery Mills. I'm joined now by Coach Alexis Sherard. And let me throw head coach Alexis Sherard on that, and we've talked about this already, and you've been in a head coaching position before because of Coach Green's illnesses or deaths in the family and different things. COVID during that time frame for a good stint when he was hurt. But it's still a little different. I know this game is an exhibition game. It doesn't even count in the standings, but still kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity, not only for myself, but for the team. I love the fact that we were able to put our uniforms on, had a couple of people in the stands, actually had a pretty good crowd. I was very pleased with the crowd, the people who came out, and just a nice dry run for our coaching staff, for all of our coaches. They're in different positions, our players, different roles. So it was a great opportunity just for us to get more information, just reinforcing our strengths, our weaknesses, getting to learn our team more, and just continue to go through the process.
Speaking of the crowd in the stands, about 5 rows up was Kerry Green. It had to be a little strange for you to see him in the crowd, and it probably was a little strange for him to be in the crowd.
Honestly, I was pretty sure he was coming, but I never really saw him. My daughter just told me that he was kind of in the middle, but I didn't even see him one time during the course of the game, but I knew he was there. I just couldn't spot him wherever he was sitting.
That's that laser focus, I forget what the baseball movie is, but the pitcher's on the mound and the crowd just completely goes away and it gets silent and it's just throwing it to the batter. So do you have that? Is there something like that? I know as a player, you get in a zone and everything goes away, but is it that way as a coach?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As a coach, you're kind of focusing on a few things heavily, and you can kind of lose track of other things, and that's why you have assistant coaches. So just with regards to, timeouts, foul situations, I'm kind of focusing on the whole, what's going on during the game, in-game adjustments, what we need to do, how we need to counter. So, as a head coach, you're trying to focus on as much as you can, but you can't focus on everything. And definitely not who's in the crowd is on the list of focus.
And the funny thing is, I'm sure as an assistant coach, now as a head coach, there's things that you're going to hear differently, voices that maybe you didn't really pay attention to as an assistant, like the referees, for example. Not that you don't chirp at the referees a little bit as an assistant coach, but you've got their ear. They don't want to hear from the assistant coaches. They want to hear from the head coach, and now you've got their ear. Has some of that stuff, I know we're only one game in, and it's an exhibition, so you're not going to be too hard on the referees in this game anyway, but has that been an adjustment too?
It has. I think for the better. My probably 18 years with Kerry Green, probably 15 of the 18 years, all I heard was, Sherard, sit down. Sherard, sit down. So now I get the opportunity to stand up the whole game. So in regards to that, it's been better for me. I don't have to worry about someone telling me to sit down. But yeah, the referees, they're great. They do a great job. I love the dialogue. Obviously, as an assistant, there's limited dialogue. But with the head coach, you get more dialogue. And I thought they did a great job tonight, called a fair game. But it's a learning process. I'm looking forward to our team growing. I'm looking forward to myself and our staff growing. And after this scrimmage, I think we have a lot of information to tell us what we need to work on more, our strengths, our weaknesses. But overall, I'm very pleased. I love our group of young ladies. They're an amazing group of young ladies, and they have an unbelievable culture. They really love one another. They pray for one another. And I think that's what's most important. And that's what's going to give us a chance to be successful this season.
I know it's an exhibition, a scrimmage. It doesn't mean anything in the standings. But if a player's got a ball in their hands and a coach is, not got a tie anymore now. It's just, got the pullover on. But if you're on the sideline, you want to win the basketball game. And this was an overtime game. North Carolina A&T, they ended up getting the win 76-65, but 60-60 squared up going into overtime. How pleased were you with the way your team played? I know the overtime you probably would like to have back, but up until that point.
Well, I think it was an unbelievable experience for us, like I said, for our team to have their uniforms on, go through the starting lineups, some people in the stands. But, as you recall, that fourth quarter, it's their ball, tie score. We call timeout, and if we don't get a stop, we're going to lose the basketball game. So just putting your teams in situations like that, special situations where you got to get a stop, you got to get a rebound, all that's really going to just be ammunition to help you down the road. And the ladies did a great job in that last defensive stance there to force it into overtime. Obviously, we fell short in overtime, but rebounding, that's something that's going to be what determines the win or the loss. And AT&T on this evening just did a better job than us tonight on the rebounding side of the ball.
And this is a good team that they've got down at NC A&T. When you look, and they got a couple post players that are hard to handle down low. And I know there's some things on film that you're going to be able to go back and say this is what we need to do differently. But this is a solid test. This isn't a D2, D3 school. This isn't NAI. This is a legit team. The types of teams that you're going to play in the season. Sure.
So even last year we played North Carolina A&T. Last year Terrell does a great job. He's the head coach. He does an amazing job, and they beat us on the boards last year. We were fortunate enough to win that game, but they beat us on the boards with 4 or 5 seniors, pretty good seniors, some upperclassmen that we were a pretty good rebounding team last year. And I knew this tonight rebounding would be the difference of the game, and we have to do it collectively as a team rebounding. We just don't have that 6'6" Bella inside that can get a lot of rebounds. But I think between Emmy, Lynn, Elizabeth, obviously I think she led us in rebounding. Ife's an unbelievable rebounder. I think collectively we will improve. Like I said, I told the team that we'll watch video. We'll just focus on what we need to focus on, what we need to do more of. Obviously, rebound is going to be a big part of that. But again, I'm very encouraged. We'll review the video, come up with a practice plan, and get back to practice on tomorrow.
Well, as we take a quick look at some of the stats, the known factors coming back, Avery Mills, who played so well as a freshman, you knew she was going to be able to put up some numbers. She had 20 points. Emmy Stout was so good. After getting a late start last year and having to get into her red shirt because of some injuries, she has 15 points in this game. Claudia, 12 points. We see her as a facilitator, 5 assists, but she was able to kind of score some for you today as well. Liz, you were talking about her, 12 rebounds, 7 points. These are all the known commodities, and to be honest, those are really the only 4 known commodities that the fans will have seen play before. Now, a couple of the young ladies were in practice all last season, so the players that we expected to produce did produce for you today. How would you say the first viewing in a game situation of these newcomers were?
Well, great question. So the newcomers, I think they're coming along very, very well. I mean, Efi was here last year, but obviously she was redshirted, didn't play in 1 college game. So this is going to be her second scrimmage. She still hasn't played in 1 official game. I think she's coming along. Her confidence is coming. I think she's very talented, multifaceted player. She can play multiple positions. Jakayla Thompson, the transfer from BC, came in. You can tell, her defensive prowess is excellent on the ball defender. She does a great job with paint touches, creating for others. And Lynn Peters, who's also a freshman, a big body going against, North Carolina A&T. I think Clark is a junior or senior, and Lynn's just a freshman. So great experience for all these newcomers here. Emma Leon from Spain, Malia Lynn Alexander, who redshirted as well last year. I think our newcomers, they did a great job. I think they're getting over their jitters. That first time you're putting on the uniform, people in the stands, it's going to be normal for them to have those butterflies. But overall, I was very pleased with the way they handle themselves. Liddy, obviously, transfer as well, came in, helped us, gave us quality minutes. So I just think collectively, as we continue to gel, we continue to practice, I think we'll be in pretty good shape here this season.
Last thing I wanted to that kind of jumped out at me as far as the stats were concerned, and this is no indictment because this is just the second time you've been running, as far as the scrimmages now. Exhibition is, I guess they call this one. Scrimmage is the closed version of it, but the number of minutes. And I know sometimes as an assistant coach, you would be sitting on the sideline and going, somebody needs a blow, somebody needs a rest. So have you had to kind of hand off those duties a little bit? Because as we look at it, the only reason I say this is Liz finishes up, not that Liz couldn't play 45 minutes. She finished up with almost 41 minutes in the game. And so there were a couple girls that got maybe a few more minutes than you would have liked.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's no question. With the new players, we're trying to bring them along slowly. Obviously, we don't want to, have our whole season with players playing 35, 40 minutes. But, Liz is probably one of the best athletes in the country on any level. I mean, she wants to play 40 minutes. But obviously, that's not going to be great just for longevity. But, we have returners who are solid. They've been in college games. They've been in, in battles. And the newcomers are coming along very, very well. And we're still trying to figure out the sub-rotation. We have a new team, a lot of different roles, a lot of different positions. So I think as the season progresses, we'll get, just as a coaching staff, we'll become more familiar with times and subs. And, that's still a work in progress.
And that was a clunky way of me asking that question. But the rotation is just something that, until you're put into the role of being the head coach, it's going to take a little while to kind of get adjusted to that as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think my assistant coaches, my staff, they do an excellent job. And, we're trying to win the game. And usually when you're trying to win a game, you're going to go with your veterans. But, we have to trust our younger kids and our first-year kids. And we will. We will. But at this time, I don't have any issues with the minutes for today. Fortunate for us, our team is in great shape where we have players that can play 35 minutes and, still be effective. But, for longevity, we got to kind of balance those minutes out and get those first-year players in there a little bit longer.
A little over a week. It's for real. The fans, like you said, good crowd for an exhibition game, but they're going to be important. And here's your chance to kind of make your plea to get those season tickets now and get out there for that opener on Tuesday. Well, a week from Tuesday.
Yeah, so come on out. We have an unbelievable team. They play the right way. They're a God-fearing, loving group. And all the fans that can come out and support us, we appreciate you. And I think you'll enjoy the product that we're going to put on the floor.
Sounds good, Coach. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy.